continuation of our discussions. We are looking at the event that took place immediately after the First World War between 1914 and 1919. And we talk about the creation of the League of Nations in 1919. We talk about the emergence of communism as an ideology in USSR, being propagated by USSR in 1922. We talk about the emergence of Benito Mussolini as the premier of Italy in 1922. We also talk about the creation of Commonwealth of Nations by Britain in 1931. And the last was the emergence of Adolf Hitler in 1933 as a chancellor of Germany. And that's the last straw that broke the camel. That was what led to the outbreak of the Second World War. And why? Adolf Hitler happened to be a racist. And he has a notion to revenge the way the other power treated Germany in the post World War I. So his aim is to annex, to invade, and if possible to rule over the world, because he believed his race is the most superior race. In fact, then he was not even talking about Africa or other lesser continents. He sees the other continent apart from Europe and America as not issued at all, that he can easily crush, like elephant will just ram through the grasses. So what now happened? We want to look at the outbreak of the Second World War. The Second World War broke out as a result of the racist ideology and the invasion of Germany under Adolf Hitler. The first country he invaded was in 1936 when Germany invaded Belgium. He moved further to invade Austria. And the last invasion of Adolf Hitler that eventually led to the outbreak of the Second World War was Adolf Hitler invasion of Poland. Poland has a defense pact or defense agreement with France and Britain. And that compared France and Britain with their other ally to come to the rescue of Poland, to defend Poland against Germany under Adolf Hitler. And on September 3rd, 1939, the Britain and France with their ally declared war against Nazi Germany under Adolf Hitler. So in 1930, as the war was declared against Germany, Adolf Hitler, who was the leader or chancellor of Germany, formed an alliance with Japan and Italy to fight the Poland, Britain, France, Russia, and their ally. So the war gradually began. But something happened. In 1941, the United States of America, joined the British, France, Russia, and Poland, and other ally, to fight Germany and his own ally. And that led to a serious effort or damage being done to the German and his ally forces, which forced Italy to withdraw his forces, our own forces that was fighting with Germany against the rest of the world. Italy withdrew his forces in 1943. The war continued, but in 1944, When a lot of blow have been dealt on Germany, Germany surrender to the Allied power. Allied powers of Britain, France, Russia, USA, and their ally. But something happened. Japan refused to bow down. Japan fought on till 1945, around August, when United States of America tested its first ever developed atomic bomb. And that bomb was detonated in two powerful cities in Japan, the city of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And that caused a very devastating damages to Japan people and its forces, which forced Japan to quickly surrender. So Japan surrendered in 1945, which eventually brought the Second World War into an end. And at the end of the Second World War, over 51 million people lost their life, both from the German and his allies, forces and the people, and from allied power of USA, France, Britain, USSR. So they both lost. It was a kind of huge human capital loss, and a lot of property were damages, and over 51 million lives were lost in that cause. So we now want to talk about the effect of the Second World War on international political system. Don't forget that we discussed earlier the effect of the First World War on international political system. The first thing that happened after the Second World War was coming together of the world leader to first identify the weaknesses in the League of Nations created to ameliorate conflict, to find solution to dispute among nations. They realized that League of Nations was too weak to be able to carry out his function as at then, and there are a lot of factors that actually account for it. Some country did not join League of Nations. The first League of Nations was put in place by some country in order to control the rest of the world. Country like United States of America did not join, and several other countries did not join, and that caused a kind of problem for League of Nations to be able to intervene in disputes that concern two or more countries or nations. So United Nations was created in 1945. It was created in a way that it will be more powerful, more effective, and all-encompassing, that it will be able to wage into conflict among nations and resolve it amicably. I wouldn't want to go into detail to disappoint you that even the United Nations is yet to fulfill optimally its objective, because we have seen a situation where countries still invade another country, either directly or indirectly. We have seen a situation where some countries have refused to obey the Security Council law, or even United Nations law, or the law created by some of its agencies. So UN was created. Then the world itself was bifurcated or divided into two ideological blocks. We now have Eastern Socialist Bloc being led by Russia. We also have Western Capitalist Bloc being championed by USA, Britain and France, and other Western nations. there is also bipolarity of the world order. The war, don't forget that before the outbreak of the First World War and in the aftermath, shortly in the aftermath of the First World War, there was nothing like superpower. But in the post Second World War, there emerged a bipolar world order, in which world is being divided and being led by the two most powerful nations, the Russia and the United States of America. There was also a Cold War. The emergence of Cold War. What do I mean by Cold War? The war, as the word connotes, Cold War. It means that this world leader or country are fighting themselves ideologically, using threat, intimidation, propaganda, and all that, without resorting into physical confrontation using forces. And that led to arms race. When this country built some ammunition, the other one will replicate, this one will replicate. So there is a competition for superiority in terms of provisions of arms and ammunition during Cold War. There was also a formation of NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization, championed by United States of America in 1949. That followed by the creation of WTO, Warsaw Treaty Organization, being created or championed by USSR in 1955. There's also establishment of Marshall Plan in 1947 by United States of America for economic recovery and unity of Western Europe. Because don't forget, I said the war was bifurcated and the euro was bifurcated, particularly the weaker one, Germany and the like, after the Second World War. We now have the Western Europe and Eastern Europe. And this move was also followed by the establishment of two bodies, COMCOM and COMFORM, by the USSR for economic recovery and political unity of Eastern Bloc or Eastern Europe. You can see that the outbreak of First World War, the Second World War, have actually impacted tremendously on the current international political system. And don't forget, after the collapse of the Berlin Wall in 1989, since then, the bipolarity world order has also collapsed. We now have a unipolar system being solely dominated by United States of America. Till recently, when country like China is now challenging US militarily, economically, technologically, and the like. So, as a student of politics, the summary of this the World War II, his influence on international political system should be permanently reside with you in your memory. That even without carrying a book, you should be able to provide a summary of the events that led to the First World War, the activity or event that follow the First World War, what led to the Second World War, what are the happening in the post-Second World War, till the present time is important. I think I will conclude this class here, but I want to tell you that on your home, there are different material. Apart from the DSC material being given to you, as a student of politics, you must read extensively on your home There are a lot of books that you can lay your hands upon. You can visit library. And thank God, you can also Google. You can get material online to buttress your point, to also be able to equip your knowledge. So because as time goes on, I might try to give you mock test. Mock test is a kind of test to prepare you on how your exam question might look like, or how the exam atmosphere could be, or the question that might likely come out of exam. And mind you, mock test is not going to be graded. If it is going to be graded, it is going to be great for you to be able to assess yourself how prepared you are, not for examination reason or purposes. So I wish you all well and best of luck in this new section. Thank you.